everyone, and welcome to Let's Dissect. Papers, Please! Award-winning game. A couple years ago, won Game of the Year all over the place. I believe it was 2012, 2013, something like that. I forget when the game came out. For those who have not seen this show before, which wouldn't be surprising, this is only the second series of episodes, this is supposed to be a sort of live review. I'm going to be playing through games that I have not played before, and basically identifying what does work, what doesn't work, that kind of thing. I have to give a small caveat, though, for this game. I have seen the first couple days of this game, because each mission, or each level, is a different day. And I've seen enough of it to know I already love this game just as an artistic achievement. We're going to see if it holds up as well as a game. But I was very inspired by this thing, and there's already just so many different elements just on this title screen alone that I want to talk about. So I'm going to have to try and not just freeze each episode on a screen and just gush about it. But for now, first things I want to point out is the music. This funereal yet still bombastic march immediately setting the tone for the game and the location that the game is supposed to take place in, as well as the time period, like the everything about the setting, where you are, when you are, and the tone of the game. It's just very, as well as the color palette here on this opening screen, which is going to continue through the rest of the game, just basically grayish green, black, white, and then the occasional red thrown in for legal stuff. But let's get started. Oh yeah, that's right. I actually test played this game a while ago, but we're going to be starting from scratch. Also, preemptive warning, because I'm going to be talking during the game, I am not going to be able to pay attention as well as if I was just playing on my own. So my performance is not going to be fantastic. I'm not going to be aiming for any new records or anything. Also, all text in this game must be read with a fake Eastern Bloc accent, so congratulations. Okay, I love that we're using typewriter sound effects to, once again, this game is supposed to take place in the late 80s. Or no, early 80s, right there, October 1982, told us exactly when it is. Labor lottery, here's the symbol. And the pixelated graphics to help, reinforce the idea, hey, maybe this is taking place in the 80s. Same thing with the graphics, as if it's a game that came straight from then. October labor lottery is complete. Your name was pulled. Alright, we now know more about the world we're in. We have labor lotteries. For immediate placement, report to the Ministry of Admission at Grestin Border Checkpoint. Again, color scheme and the use of the fact that we've seen browns, grays, greens, white, black, and red, and yet all of it still comes together to give a very bleak and oppressive tone, despite not just being washed out. Oh, that's austere as hell. An apartment will be provided for you and your family in East Grestin. Expect a Class 8 dwelling. Again, that phrase tells us so much. We're going to be providing an apartment, okay, and your family. Expect this type of dwelling. Ugh. Glory to Rostotska. Grestin Border Checkpoint opens at last! After 6 long years, can the Ministry of Admission keep us safe? Generic text. The weather exists. Sports happen. Families to reunite. November 23rd, 1982. I will never get over that, there's no... first off, I love that it's no charge for this, newspaper, but I love that, November 23rd, 1982. This game starts on my birthday. Music slowly fades out, and again, so much to see here. So we saw ourselves walk to work, which, again, just the importance of that phrase to start the level of walk to work. Not drive, even though we just saw that there's cars. Not train, bike, nothing. You walk to work. Secondly, again with the color palette, same ones we saw before, of just the browns, the washed out greens, grays, blacks, and whites. But again, it still seems, while seeming very drab and bleak, it still managed to be fairly colorful without being, dull. They're aspiring to be dull. It's very interesting. I like that you see yourself walk in and then the guard walks up of like, okay, here's me, and oh, there's an armed guard. Very, very interesting. And I love that there's this long snaking line. It's 6 a.m. Every day goes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I know that's one of the rules. And it's 6 a.m., which means these people have been here for God knows how long already. All right. Inspector, welcome to your new position at Dresden Border Checkpoint. Stamp passport, entry visa, and return documents to entrant. Entry is restricted to our Stotskan citizens only. Deny all foreigners. Deny all... Wow, okay. Glory towards Stotska. And then here, it shows you what to do. Again, I've watched this game, so I know. And the game's kind of old, but for those of you who don't know, what happens is they're going to pass us their passport, hand us their passport. Let's use non-repeating sounds, shall we? And then I'm going to be looking at those passports and deciding whether or not, and then here's a copy of the newspaper, whether or not to approve or deny. Yeah, that is just... Also, I have to give them massive credit. That is just such a satisfying... The sound design in this game is fantastic, because you hear it, this top click, this, you hear this part click this, then it hit the bottom, and it just feels so good. Stamping passports, and it feels so good. Also, I love... right off the bat, this gameplay decision to the clock doesn't start until you're ready, so you get that moment to collect yourself and understand what it is you're about to do. So, without further ado... I should open the shutter, probably. Alright. Finally, I can return home. Our Stotskan passport, which... Kudos to them, smart design. They gave every single passport its own iconic look, so... For today, we're just looking for all these green ones with the eagle, and they are all automatically getting in. And I have to hand it back to them. Glory to Stotska. Thank you. Whereas all the non-green ones are automatically getting denied. Checkpoint is smaller than I expected. I'm gonna hope you don't think that I'm throwing you out because you insulted my checkpoint. Instead, it's just institutionalized racism coming down from those above. Glory to Sotska. I've waited in this damn line since for 8 hours. I hope it was worth it. Whoops, sorry. Accidentally clicked outside my window. Oh, you are about to be very disappointed. Unbelievable. Go to hell. And I love the sound where everything washes out when you're dealing with the people, but it all comes right back as soon as they walk out the door, and it has this great sense of putting you as the checkpoint. It was a mistake to open this checkpoint. Oh, and he's off. Wait, he was in line for 6 hours to do that? Like, what? I don't even think that's like a unintentional, like, I think that's intentional, where they're like, hey, he waited in line 6 hours just to threaten you with that, that is some dedication. And some decent foreshadowing, I think. I don't actually know, because again, I haven't seen the rest of this game, but pretty sure that's going to come back to bite us. But anyway, I love how effective this game is at making you feel like the border guard, like the character you're supposed to be in this booth, which, again, comes down to a bunch of subtle things. The fact that you don't get to see anything outside of what you would get to see standing at the booth, the sound design where everything washes out when they come in and comes back when the doors are open, the walking to work, and the sense of desperation you get as you play through, which gets reinforced by a mechanic later on at the end of this level, which you'll get to see. But as some of you might be picking up on, and this is what I picked up on when I watched people play the first time, I was blown away by how, even watching, some of you are going to be picking up on that sense of, like, when the person was like, I can't believe this, go to hell, or, you know, or they're like, oh, I've been waiting in line for 6 hours. Oh, time's up. Hey, congratulations, good thing you got in just under the wire, go home. But that sense of, both the incredible power you wield, and yet the powerlessness you have to do anything outside of the rules, which will get explored more on our next episode, but for now, we're just going to pay off our bills, where we start with 30 savings, which is a good buffer for the tutorial level. Our salary was quite effective this time. I'm surprised at how many I got through. Automatically deduct rent, but food and heat are optional, which I think is a very fascinating mechanic, because if your money runs low, you have to be able to make the decision of, am I going to eat or am I going to freeze? Fortunately, I don't have to make such decisions right now, because I've made a tidy profit this time around, based off of how many... I like how they base it off of how many people you process, not how long you worked, not how well you did your job, how many people did you go through, which is such a broken system. Alright, and we now see, we have our Class 8 dwelling, we're seeing hints of what's to come, but most importantly, we now see we're not just responsible for the border. We're not even just responsible for ourselves. We're responsible for our wife, our son, our mother-in-law, and our uncle. 5 people on a budget of $45 at the end of this day. But for now, I will see you guys next time on Let's Dissect.